Thanks, Nemus, for joining us in the SAINTCON hallway. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. How did you get the hacker handle Nemus? Is this earned? Is it given? Is it self-proclaimed?
I just self-proclaimed it.
You're like, I am Nemus, therefore.
Yeah,
Where did you first use it at? Was
it's
it your first email address? Gaming?
yeah, it was gaming, like online chat. As a kid, I was trying. I didn't really know how to spell, so I was trying to type Nemesis. So I, that's what I came up with. It was available, so I just kept it. It actually does have a meaning. It's like a grove or something. It's like a serene grove is like a Nemus if you look it up, the definition. So
When I think of you,
worked out.
I think of a serene grove.
Yeah.
It's fitting. What
Mm-hmm.
was your first chat application you shoved it into?
Oh, jeez.
Are we
What was
AOL?
that
Are
one?
we IR?
Merc. Merc. Yeah, it was Merc. If you
Merc?
remember that. You remember the 90s?
I remember
There
some
was
parts of the
another one,
90s.
ICQ or something. Yeah, there was like ICQ.
Yes, ICQ,
I
right? I
think.
remember that.
Yeah, ICQ. Yeah, it was that and Merc.
I don't remember Merc, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll take your word for it.
And
I'm sure other people do.
BattleNet.
Yeah,
Yeah, BattleNet.
BattleNet. StarCraft 2,
Mm-hmm.
so much. Or StarCraft 1. What am I talking
Diablo
about?
2.
1. 1.
Yeah,
Diablo.
StarCraft 1 and Diablo 2.
Yeah. My kids are playing Minecraft Dungeons, and I'm like, is this just Diablo 2 with like a skin on it? I'm like, start duping those. Put boxes inside of boxes and never ending inventory.
Boxes, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I know that well. Um, how did you get into InfoSec? What was your intro? I know your development. How did that tie into an InfoSec?
It started out with the at the community college. Actually, I was taking software development classes, and my plan was is to work information technology, IT, like help desk or whatever I could. I just wanted to be in technology while I was working through school, and so I took some classes from Jason Tracy, actually,
JT.
and yeah, JT and Dan Hutchings. Dan Hutchings really was the man who got me into information security because he was a professor at the Salt Lake Community College. He taught at night, so I took mostly night classes because I was working at the day. I took an A plus course from him to get my A plus certification, like you do when you're 18.
So if the computer doesn't boot, is it the floppy disk or the printer?
Yes.
It's
It's the IDE drive. Your slave and master on the IDE.
we don't use those terms anymore. Those are gone.
Yeah, yeah.
But how many pins are in a ribbon cable on an IDE?
I used to know that type of
I
stuff.
know. I just remember the A plus
Yeah.
questions, and you're like, what? Like that doesn't make any sense. Nobody needs that crap. But that's awesome. Like
Yeah, one of
so.
the A plus questions I got was like, what is the interrupt? Yeah, what is the DMA address? No, I got breakout there. Sorry, go ahead.
Nope, you're good. What is the interrupt address? What were you saying?
Oh, I was saying one of the A plus questions I had was what is the DMA internal address of the IRQ or the infrared port or something? It was something really ridiculous. Like it wanted you to know what the operating system would assign the address to. And I'm like, this is the most ridiculous question I've ever heard in my life. No one has ever needed to know this ever.
How tall should the fence be around your data center?
10 feet.
Yeah. So wait, you got your CISP too?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Awesome. So, all right. So, you're at the community college, and JT and Hutchins are like instilling love of InfoSec into you, or you already had it and it just blossomed?
Yeah, I mean, I always was really interested in information security, the darker side of stuff. I always wanted to learn how to hack things and to learn exploits and stuff like that. The community colleges where kind of things just kind of got accelerated. Um, so I did a little bit of infosec stuff, and I always thought that when I was younger that you had to learn assembly to write viruses. So I was always trying to learn assembly, which is like a giant pain in the butt, which you don't really need to do that. Now that years later you find out, but
I just had a flashback to a DC 801 presentation or series trainings that you were doing
mhm.
on reversing malware assembly. And I always tell the people, like, hey, it's good to go do those classes because then you realize after you spend some time doing it, you never want to do that. I don't ever want to deal with assembly. I know that there's a
Mhm.
lot of skill and use for it. I went as far as flipping a bit on a game to say the license was true, and that was cool, but it's not for me, Nemus. Assembly is not for me. And you taught it. You
Yeah,
were the person teaching it.
yeah. I'm not the best expert in it. I've worked in it a long. I've it's been a hobby. It's never been a profession, right? It's never paid the bills, but it's always been fun to play with. So I've never been an extreme expert in it, like some people are, but it's always been something that's been interesting me. So yeah, back then I was doing that kind of stuff, and I took my Security Plus from Dan Hutchings, and got into firewalls, got into routers, got into networking, and so that's kind of the long story short of how I ended up spending 8 years at the community college just taking. So I did computer science classes, and then I did the back then it was called I can't even remember what the degree was called, but it was like it was telecommunications. Yeah, it was telecommunications degree. Did that, and then I delved into a little bit of electrical engineering and decided that I was trying to do too much, and I bit off more than I could chew, and that's when I decided to actually finish my bachelor's degree.
Nice. Sidebar, real fast. Have you ever seen
Mhm.
JT type?
Not that I can really remember, but yeah, I've seen him type, but not
I'm just
recently.
I've seen a lot of fast people typing, but that guy's a daggone wizard on a bash keyboard. Like I've never seen anybody go as fast as that guy. I was just curious if you'd seen him because he's just over there, just smoke coming out of his hands. So anyway, slight JT reference. How many Saint Cons have you been to?
Um, think like 5 or 6. I'm not quite sure.
First one was Weber.
Yeah, Weaver. They were at Weaver for quite a while.
And when did you present at DEF CON? Was that after that or before that?
It was after that, so yeah, SAINTCON was kind of like a stepping stone for me to
A gateway drug,
go
you might
to.
say.
Yeah, gateway drug. Yeah.
Awesome. What's your favorite Saint Con memory?
Oh man, favorite SAINTCON. I'd say it'd have to be the pop up hackerspace, hanging out with Dark Matter and everybody. That was a lot of fun. I liked giving the presentation. I mean, the thing I remember most about it was really my first time giving a presentation was really nerve wracking because the light, you get the speaker illuminated, you have the lights like blaring right into your face, and then there's like 300 people, but you can't see their faces because the light's blinding them.
They're all just judging you.
But no, the nice thing is they're all staring at their computers, so it's kind of like you're talking to a room of people that have something else to do. So
No, Saint
that
Con's.
was that kind of helped.
I don't. Whoever does the lights, those guys are jerks. But
Hmm.
no, I mean I get it. It is interesting, but it's a pretty safe crowd. I mean, what? Okay,
Oh
here.
yeah.
What's the contrast? Was it similar, different between Saint Con and DEF CON?
Def, I'd say the room that they put me in for DEF CON was similar. St. Con I think was a little more intimidating because the room was just bigger. So your voice echoed more. When I was in DEF CON, the rooms were all padded, carpeted. So and then it was also everyone was just squished in together. And so the sizes of the crowd were relatively the same. That was the first time I spoke. The second time I spoke, it was a much bigger DEF CON crowd. By then, I think I've gotten kind of over the fear of speaking publicly. Now it doesn't bother me as much as it did, but I remember back then it was pretty nerve wracking to just get to stand up there and present something and hope that you don't screw stuff up.
Do you recall 2015 B-sides?
Was yeah, I think so.
I believe you were running the AV.
I was.
You don't remember? You were one of the people that was doing the AV for B-sides 2015.
Which one was that? There's been a lot of B-sides and a lot of SAINTCONs, a lot of Open West, so eventually it all becomes a blur.
All I remember is I was a participant. I showed up late. I was dealing with some stupid project. I got to B-sides 2015, and you were dealing with like speakers moving, like actual speakers, moving them around and buzzing between speakers, and I was just pondering what would it have been if you had stuck doing AV for those or helping out versus suddenly that ended up getting my to do. But
which venue was that? That's easier for me to remember than the year. Sheraton.
In the basement.
Yeah, in the basement. Yeah, okay. That one, yeah, I think I was just helping out, though. Right. I wasn't responsible for it.
Anytime I see you putting out a fire in AV, I'm going to assume you're responsible.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing is whenever I see a fire, I'm always trying to throw water on it, no matter, where it is or what it is. So
that does lead to my next question.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like all the presentations I went to at 801 Labs, Linux night, malware night, take your pick, whatever it was, you were running them. And you were running 801 Labs, running DC 801. You were doing B-sides. You're speaking at DEF CON, speaking at SAINTCON. Is there a community, and the badge and the badge shells and the 801 party, and is there something that you don't do in the community?
No, now that I've had a kid, I haven't been as active as I used to be, but I don't know. So what happened was I went to DerbyCon, the first year they had DerbyCon. And I went to their hackerspace, and it was, multi-level, and they had all these cool projects and all this cool stuff. And I was just like, it'd be really awesome if we had something like this in Salt Lake. And I realized, if I want something to happen, I'm going to have to make sure it happens, right? If I really want something, you can't really wait for other people to do it. So you just set out and do it. And so that's kind of what sparked me into getting involved with everything. And I have a bad habit of taking on way more work than I probably should. And then I also like to have my fingers in every single pie, which is also a bad habit. I do that at work too, with all the different projects. Most of it's just because a lot of it was for myself, for me, teaching myself and improving myself too, as well as giving back. And so I ran all those things to make something happen, really, Because one thing I've noticed, if you start doing something, people kind of help pick up the slack and help you out, and that's kind of what's been happening. So it's been pretty good.
Well, I can only speak for myself, but thank you for all that you've done because it's influenced my life. I've sat through a lot of your trainings. I've sat through a lot of your presentations. And there's things in there that I'm like, this is awesome, and I take a bunch of notes. And there's others that I'm like, I'd never want to do that again. But that's good. That's how you know what you like or don't like. But anyway, I'm appreciative of putting out the buzzing in a speaker in an AV, from there to speaking at SAINTCON, to presenting on reverse engineering malware with assembly code at 801 Labs. It's been wonderful to like hang out and like learn from you, and then also like get to know you too. So
cool.
What is the best restaurant to eat at in Vegas? Because right now we should be wrapping up Vegas, right? Like we should be heading back.
Mm-hmm.
We would have been hanging out in the Black Hat Knock for a week, and we would have been going out to dinner a few times. And where is it? We always go to some pretty unique places. What's yours? What's your go-to? This is your favorite place to eat in Vegas. Assuming it's still there, COVID, I get all that, but
yeah. Well, that's a hard choice. There's the ramen place. and I can never remember the names. And then by the ramen place, there's the
It's way off the strip. It's like 130 degrees, but it's worth it, and it'll melt your
oh
face.
yeah,
Yeah, we should look up what it's
yeah, you can
called.
get it like super hot.
Yeah,
It's like ramen sora, I think is what it's
something
called.
like that. In a sketch
You
part
just
of
call it
town
the
too.
ramen place.
Yeah,
It's in the Asian part of town.
I I wasn't saying that. I'm saying there's always cars smashed in the parking lot, like
Yeah, well, that's Vegas.
but the cameras
The
are
whole
all
town is
jacked.
sketch.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. You try to get me in trouble there, Nemus. I'm not stepping on that bear trap.
But yeah, there's a Korean barbecue place right next to it too. That's amazing. And then there's New Berlin Cafe.
That was good.
It's always a good one.
Who started that? Who started the go find the restaurants and go out and eat? I'm the byproduct.
That's a Zach thing.
Zach.
Yeah, Zach. Yeah, because his brother lives down there, and so we get sick of the hotel food,
which is really fast. It's like day 2, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you get sick of it, and so we're like, we're here every year, so let's try and find some of the best restaurants we can, and found a lot of good ones.
Yeah, good ones for sure. Well, what's this room you're in? Is this your workshop? Is this your office? Is this both?
It's my workshop office.
Nice.
So yeah,
any Corona coaster projects you're working on right now?
Not really. It's been kind of nice because I'm taking a break from the torrent of things that I usually do of presentations and conferences and volunteering, and so it's been kind of nice to step back from that. But mostly it's just been I've been doing some 3D printing. Skylar got me into it, and so I've just been printing little things, little miniatures and stuff.
Your wife's like, oh, this thing broke, and you're like, I will make it. 3D printer to the rescue.
Yeah, I've gotten really good at gluing stuff now, so
nice. And dealing with home repairs, it sounds like.
Yeah, home repairs, yes. And insurance. I'm really good with dealing with insurance.
I'm in the middle of an insurance right now, finishing the last. We had hail damage on our roof, and it's all done and repaired, but we refinanced in the middle of it, and they don't issue the check to me. They issue the check to me and my mortgage company. So now I have the second check is now issued to the second mortgage company, which hasn't even taken over yet. So like it's a mess, but insurance is such a weird thing. But I don't know. Do you mind sharing the story that you just told me a little bit before about your insurance claim? Because it's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, about my kid flooding the house.
Yes, that.
So yeah. So my 2-year-old, I have a 2-year-old. We had a kid about 2 years ago, and he decided to climb up onto the sink in the master bathroom and turn the sink on because he was watching a TV show where on Netflix where they're doing stuff with sinks. I don't know, just some collage of sinks and cups and stuff. And so he went and turned on the sink, but he didn't stay there. He just left. He went and turned it all on, plugged it up, and then left. And so he went back to watching TV. So we thought he was there the whole time, and come to find out that the water was running and it flooded the whole house in the basement, and
oh my!
Had to get the whole thing repaired.
Do you hear that, Netflix? Nemus is going to send you a bill.
Oh, well, yeah. So this is another lovely thing about Netflix I'm going to tell you about. So one of his favorite shows is Number Blocks. Number Blocks is 10 minutes long. And then every 3 shows, Netflix asks you, are you still watching? So every half an hour, he has a meltdown because Netflix stops.
And you can't have that because then he'll do some more damage to the house.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, are you ready to just ditch this all and let's go to Alaska for like a week? Because if my wife wouldn't kill me, I think we should just do that.
Well, you have to go under a 14-day quarantine if you go there, unless you've got a COVID test.
Seems worth it.
And you have to get tested when you land. Yeah, it's a huge pain.
Is it worth it though?
Yeah, it might be.
Because then you're there 14 days. One day, Nemus, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, we're going to.
We're gonna go to Alaska and go fishing. FishCon. Can you go do FishCon with the actual F for FishCon? Well, any other book or anything you want to plug, or DC-801 badge or anything like that you want to talk about or discuss?
Yeah, we just have the DC-801 badge. This year, Bash and Admiral Potato are working on it. We're going to have some awesome software and some awesome hardware. Hamster's doing the hardware, and sales site's up. We're getting close to sold out. So if you're interested, all the proceeds go to the Hackerspace. So it's another good thing to announce too is the 801 Labs is now officially a 501c3. So all donations and everything are tax write-offs. Yep, it's awesome. That was a lot of work there, but Bash took the brunt of it. Got we hired some lawyers and worked through it and got all the bylaws and all the legal stuff done so that we don't go to jail or the IRS doesn't come and find us. So,
well, there's still time, but less likely. DC801.store.
Yep. Yeah. DC801.store.
I just got my shipping notification, so I'm pretty excited about that.
We got all kinds of stickers and stuff there too, if you want them.
Awesome. Well, Nemus, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. It went from like this guy's super smart and teaches me stuff to we spent a week in Vegas sharing a hotel room, which is a story for another day. And I could honestly call you my friend, and it's a pleasure to know you. And I look forward to
good to know you too.
Your next adventures in life or your next flooded basement.
Mm-hmm.